What is going on, everybody? Paul here, coming at you with your crypto coffee update, where we start the day by discussing the news and the upcoming events, all in the wide and seemingly ever-growing world of cryptocurrency. But first, join me now for our simultaneous sip, where we start out the day right together with a fresh cup of coffee. Best part of waking up is not infringing on copyright. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the news, your first segment of the day. There was, again, a smattering of articles that I found highly relevant, so I'm going to report on 3 of them for your convenience, and let me know in the comments below which one you think is the most relevant and you think has the biggest implication for crypto as a whole. So first article we have today, Microsoft is acquiring GitHub for $7.5 billion, and it's left some individuals and companies alike a bit worried about Microsoft's track record in terms of privacy. Specifically, privacy cryptocurrencies like Monero are very worried. Immediately when the acquisition was announced, posts emerged on Reddit saying, should Monero stay on GitHub or should they leave for something like GitLab, which is an alternative, assumingly an open source. I've never looked at it specifically. I did a quick Google search and it looks very similar to GitHub, so it makes sense that an open source developer repository would have something similar out there, one that isn't being acquired by Microsoft, and it's good that there are market options for these companies. Now, there's nothing announced yet as to whether or not Monero will be leaving GitHub for GitLab, but it is confirmed that this $7.5 billion acquisition is indeed being undertaken by Microsoft. And of course, whenever you have a merger this large, you're going to have public representatives to talk it through and convince the public that, well, this isn't really the worst thing in the world. And you see here in this little snippet from the article, a young lady named Nadella. Well, I don't know if she's a young lady, but a lady nonetheless, Nadella, she mentioned that Microsoft is a developer-first company and that joining forces with GitHub can strengthen the developer freedom, openness, and innovation, not only of Microsoft, but as a whole. And, well, that could be true. I think Microsoft is a developer-first company. After all, they gather a bunch of data from their users, oftentimes in unclear and maybe even nefarious ways, all for the benefit of their developers. So it's a weird way of showing love, but perhaps it is indeed a way of showing love. And just to wrap up this article, a little meme out of the Cryptide Discord, one of our users posted this. It was fantastically hilarious. Some people actually saw this as true and gave them a moment to pause and ask, is this what it's going to look like? Is this really happening? And no, that's not the case. This is just a meme showing that you can sign into GitHub using your Microsoft Live ID, but just the fact that, people would think that this could potentially be real is perhaps itself a cause for concern, but nonetheless not the case as of yet. Next up, our second article, we have Coinbase set to clear U.S. regulatory hurdles. That is right, the giant monolithic cryptocurrency entity that is Coinbase. Great article coming out by John McMahon there on June 7th. You can see Coinbase is moving forward. Based out of San Francisco, they are attempting to get all of the regulatory alphabet soups of licenses to list securities. So they're hoping to move beyond the original 4 cryptos that they have listed and break into the securities market. This has not proved to be an easy feat, however. Coinbase is an older entity. They got started in 2011 or 2012, and the unclear definition on the part of the U.S. government as to what cryptocurrencies are a security and what exactly you need to have to sell certain ones makes it very difficult for a company to do this above board, especially if they make a misstep and are taken to court. That could potentially set a precedent that is unfavorable for cryptocurrency as a whole and the entire industry. So Coinbase really has to tread lightly despite its gigantic size, and that's no small feat. They've done a pretty good job so far. You can see here like I mentioned towards the bottom of this segment, the alphabet soup of licenses that they're looking to acquire, and just a bit of context for the entity itself, $150 billion in assets traded for 20 million customers, valued at $8 billion itself, and has made the CNBC's number 10 for the top 50 disruptor list. So no small entity, that is Coinbase. And that's it for the second article. Moving on to number 3, we have EOS Launch being a no-go. It's not happening yet. Block producers have yet to come to a consensus, and they are convening every 12 hours until they can come to said consensus and launch the main chain of EOS. However, that has not happened yet. Too many errors, technical tasks, and even some critical bugs, as we discussed last time. A great article by Christine Masters coming out just 3 hours ago you can see that, as we've been saying for a long while now, the ecosystem of EOS is not completely decentralized. I would argue that it's not even decentralized. However, that's neither here nor there. You can see EOS has only 21 block producers, and they are in some more prominent positions. You even have things like EOS New York and EOS Canada trying to coordinate efforts for the launch to smooth things over, as well as communicate with token holders to keep them abreast to the situation. After all, it's kind of foreign for some individuals who've invested in cryptocurrencies to have to put so much faith into one small group of individuals. However, given the state of society, that's pretty normal. We're pretty used to seeing collusory groups of people making decisions on behalf of the whole. And you can see that reflected here. The EOS community largely sees this news as positive. The delay has not harmed market price, and a lot of individuals, I've seen it myself on the EOS subreddit, are being very encouraging towards the block producers, and that's a good sign, really. I see them saying things like, hey, take your time, don't worry about it. So this was something that was expected, and while there are some loud individuals who are saying, hey, hurry it up, let's get this situated, most of the community is approaching this in a level-headed way. They're saying take all the time you need to make sure that the chain is launched in a way that is secure, safe, and won't cause any problems into the future. So a tip of the hat to the EOS community for their mostly level-headedness in this entire thing. So good on them there. And that is it for the news section of the Crypto Coffee Update. Like I said, let me know what piece of news you think that we discussed here today has the most relevance going forward. But for now, that's all we have. Let's go ahead and get into the Crypto Coffee Update for Friday, June 8th. There's going to be a NEM meetup in Munich. That's it for Friday. For Saturday, June 9th, there's the D10 conference, a conference that goes all around the world to different major cities, and this one's happening in Tel Aviv, Israel. IOTA is having a TEDx talk. Factum is having a hackathon, and EOS as well is having a hackathon, with an NEM meetup happening in Singapore. That's it for Saturday, June 9th, and I think this is the third week in a row. I couldn't find anything for Sunday, June 10th. There's a few small things going on, but nothing really earth-shattering that's newsworthy. So nice, relaxing Sunday. You can kind of kick back, take it easy, and unwind from a busy week in crypto. But that's all we have for the Crypto Coffee Update today. As usual, all the links below in the description, as well as a big old list of B-list tokens. They're not bad projects. There's just way too much to talk about with respect to time. I would keep you guys here all day. But thank you so much for watching. Your support really does mean the world. As you may know, Cryptide is completely free to access. Nobody gets any kind of paycheck or anything for doing this work, so your support really is the paycheck that we receive. So thumbs up below would be fantastic, and more importantly, just share this information with anybody you think could benefit from it. Really, the reason that we do this is to make crypto the best it could possibly be and try and grow this space to help humanity as a whole. So sharing this information with anyone who you think could get benefit from it really in turn helps not only Cryptide, not only you, but everybody involved. For more information, you can check us out at cryptide.cc, which is our website, your one-stop shop for anything crypto related, or check out our Discord, where we're most active, a link below in the description. We also have the new Bitcoin and Beyond podcast with Cryptide, where you can find an exclusive interview with Bitcoin Confidential, a new project started by the Smart Cash team that deals with privacy. That's all you're going to get out of me here. You got to go check it out. But for now, that's all. My name is Paul, signing off. Thanks again for watching. And remember, the tide is rising.